I didn't think twice about it. Honestly, I believed it was helping me. A simple daily routine that felt harmless, even beneficial. It was private, something I kept to myself. And in my mind, it was part of maintaining health, maybe even warding off problems before they started. I thought that daily habit was just a natural part of life, nothing to worry about. Until one day, sitting across from my prostate doctor, his words caught me off guard. He looked at me with a seriousness I hadn't expected and said, "There's something important we need to discuss about your prostate health and your daily habits." That moment sticks with me, because it challenged everything I'd quietly believed for years. The idea that frequent ejaculation, especially masturbation, was purely good for prostate health is something many men hold on to, almost without question. The internet is full of articles encouraging men to stay regular, to flush out toxins or reduce cancer risk. But what if it's not that simple? What if there's a fine line between what helps and what quietly signals that something deeper is going on? I'm Dr. Alan Mercer, and over the decades, I've met hundreds of men like you, men who thought their habits were harmless or even helpful, only to find themselves facing new questions about vitality, energy, and intimate health. This isn't about shame or judgment. It's about understanding the body's subtle whispers before they become louder cries. This story, the one I want to share with you, is about one man. Let's call him Jack, who came to me tired, frustrated, and confused. Jack's story might sound familiar to you, because beneath his routine was a struggle many men quietly carry. Jack was 62 when he first walked into my office. He wasn't a man given to complaints or dramatics, but his eyes told me he was worn down. He had that kind of tiredness that goes beyond a bad night's sleep, a deep, persistent fatigue that felt like a weight he couldn't shake. Jack told me about his nights interrupted by frequent trips to the bathroom, the dull ache he sometimes felt low in his pelvis, and the slow disappearance of the energy he once took for granted. His intimacy with his wife had changed too. What used to be an easy connection now felt strained, and he wondered if it was just age catching up. Jack believed he was doing all the right things. He exercised lightly, ate reasonably well, and importantly, he had taken the advice he found online seriously. Masturbate daily. He had read that ejaculation could reduce the risk of prostate problems, maybe even cancer. So, every day, like clockwork, he followed that routine, convinced he was protecting himself. But the truth was different. Despite his efforts, his symptoms persisted, even worsened. That's when he came to me, seeking answers beyond the surface. I've found that Jack's experience is not unusual. Many men carry these hidden burdens, a persistent discomfort, or unexplained fatigue, and wonder why their good habits aren't enough. What Jack's story teaches us is that the prostate, while small, is a complex organ that needs more than simple rituals to stay healthy. It needs balance, care, and respect for its limits. To truly understand why Jack's daily habit wasn't the cure-all he expected, it helps to know what the prostate actually does. The prostate is more than just a tiny gland nestled below the bladder. It's a living, responsive part of your body that plays a crucial role in reproductive health. Its primary function is to produce seminal fluid, the nourishing liquid that carries sperm during ejaculation. But it's also sensitive to changes in blood flow, inflammation, and pressure. Think of the prostate like a garden. It needs the right amount of water and sunlight to thrive, but too much or too little can cause it to struggle. Balance is everything. The prostate thrives on a rhythm, periods of activity followed by rest. When we push it too hard, too often, without giving it time to recover, it can become congested. This congestion is more than just a physical sensation. It can cause inflammation, discomfort, and a feeling of heaviness or pressure in the pelvis. It's as if the garden is overwatered, the soil becoming soggy, roots struggling to breathe. That's the kind of subtle distress many men don't realize is happening inside them. Overactivity isn't just a problem for the prostate itself. It can also affect the muscles and nerves around the pelvic floor, leading to tension and pain. You might think of these muscles like the foundation of a house. If they're tight or strained, everything built on top feels unstable. Chronic pelvic tension can contribute to symptoms like difficulty urinating, pain during or after ejaculation, or even erectile challenges. And these symptoms aren't just physical. They can chip away at confidence, intimacy, and overall quality of life. But here's an important truth. The habit itself, masturbation, is not inherently harmful. It's the context, the pattern, and the reasons behind it that matter most. In Jack's case, what worried me wasn't simply that he masturbated every day. It was what that habit was trying to cover up, or perhaps what it was trying to solve on a deeper level. Too often, men develop daily routines that become ways to manage anxiety, loneliness, or hormonal changes, quiet signals that something else is out of balance. Our brains are wired to seek comfort, and habits form to meet emotional needs, sometimes without us realizing. For some men, daily masturbation becomes less about pleasure and more about calming restless nerves or filling an emotional void. This can create a narrow pathway of arousal, a loop where the body expects a certain kind of stimulation to feel normal, but this loop can dull sensation over time. It's like always driving the same route, never exploring new roads. Eventually, the journey feels monotonous, disconnected, and when the body and mind are caught in this loop, the signs start to appear: lingering pelvic discomfort, a fading desire for intimacy with a partner, irritability, and even the frustrating experience of waking multiple times at night to urinate. These symptoms may seem unrelated, but they often trace back to the same source: a prostate and pelvic system out of sync, crying out for attention. When Jack and I talked about this, I didn't tell him to stop masturbating outright. That wouldn't be honest or helpful. Instead, I asked him to pause, just for a while, to listen, really listen to what his body was saying beneath the noise of habit and routine, giving his system space to breathe, to reset, and to reconnect with full body sensation and relaxation. This wasn't about judgment or punishment, but about creating room for healing. I suggested he track his energy levels, his mood, his symptoms, and the quality of his intimacy, just observing, without pressure or expectation. This simple act of paying attention is often the first step toward reclaiming vitality. Sometimes the answer isn't to fight harder, but to slow down and respond with curiosity and care. The body remembers balance when we give it a chance. When Jack took that step back, he began to notice small but powerful changes: less pelvic tension, deeper sleep, a gradual return of desire that felt more connected, more whole. These shifts don't happen overnight, but they're meaningful. They are whispers of hope, reminding us that even in midlife, the body can heal and adapt. Alongside this shift in habit, there are practical ways to support prostate health that feel natural and nurturing, not overwhelming or complicated. Simple steps like drinking enough water to keep everything flowing smoothly, eating foods rich in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory nutrients, think berries, leafy greens, and fatty fish, and gently moving the body every day to encourage circulation. Even practices like mindful breathing or gentle stretching can help ease pelvic floor tension, releasing the tightness that builds up over years. It's important to understand that the prostate is part of a larger system, one that thrives not on extremes, but on harmony. Moderation in all things, including stimulation, helps maintain this delicate balance. Reclaiming arousal as a full-body experience, not just a mechanical act, reconnects men to pleasure, intimacy, and emotional depth. So if you've been doing it every day like Jack, don't be alarmed or ashamed. What matters is how you feel, not the number on a calendar. Your body isn't broken, it's simply asking for attention, for a gentler touch, and for the chance to be heard. In the next part, we'll explore how to recognize the hidden signs that your prostate and pelvic health might need more than a quick fix, and what you can do to nurture this vital part of your well-being with kindness and wisdom. Because this journey isn't about stopping, it's about listening, understanding, and restoring the balance that lets you live fully and with ease. When Jack and I sat down again after those first weeks of reflection, there was a quiet shift in his eyes. He spoke softly about how he had started to notice when his body felt tense, especially in the lower belly and pelvis. It was like he'd been carrying an invisible weight for years without realizing it, a tightness that wasn't just physical, but emotional too. We talked about how this tension might not just be a symptom, but a signal, a message from his body urging him to slow down, to be more mindful, and to care for himself in ways he hadn't before. The truth is, the hidden risks of overdoing anything, even something as natural as masturbation, often come down to patterns, not isolated acts. It's rarely the single moment, but the repeated habit, especially when it's used as a way to mask discomfort or unmet needs. That's why it's so important to pause and ask, what is this routine really trying to fix? Sometimes it's anxiety, sometimes loneliness, or perhaps a response to hormonal shifts that come with age. When those underlying currents aren't addressed, no amount of physical activity can restore the sense of ease we long for. So, I invited Jack to explore something different, not just physically, but emotionally. Instead of reaching for a quick release every day, what if he gave himself permission to experience the full range of sensations his body could offer? What if arousal wasn't a checklist item, but a doorway to presence, connection, and deep relaxation? It wasn't about stopping masturbation, but about opening the door to other ways of feeling and being with his body. This is where the real healing begins. It's gentle, it's slow, and it requires patience. But the rewards are profound. By tuning in to his body's rhythms rather than pushing against them, Jack began to reclaim a sense of vitality that had been missing. His sleep improved, the nagging pelvic discomfort eased, and most importantly, his relationship with his wife deepened in ways that had nothing to do with routine or expectation. Practical lifestyle changes often feel like the hardest part, but they don't have to be complicated. One of the simplest gifts you can give your prostate is hydration. Water is life after all. Drinking enough throughout the day helps keep the tissues healthy and the system flushing gently but effectively. It's a basic act of kindness to your body that can make a significant difference over time. Then there's the food we choose to nourish ourselves with. I encourage men like Jack to focus on whole, anti-inflammatory foods, vibrant berries packed with antioxidants, leafy greens rich in vitamins and minerals, and healthy fats like those found in fatty fish and nuts. These foods don't just feed your prostate, they support the entire body, calming inflammation and boosting circulation. Movement is another cornerstone of prostate health, but it doesn't mean running marathons or lifting heavy weights. Think of it more like a flowing river, gentle, continuous, and purposeful. Walking daily, stretching lightly, or practicing calming exercises like Tai Chi or yoga can increase blood flow to the pelvic region, help relax tight muscles, and reduce tension. This isn't about pushing your limits, it's about rediscovering ease and comfort in your body. One often overlooked area is the pelvic floor itself, the foundation upon which everything rests. Too many men believe that strengthening these muscles is only about doing Kegels, but in reality, the pelvic floor needs balance, both strength and relaxation. Overly tight pelvic muscles can cause or worsen discomfort, urinary issues, and sexual difficulties. Learning to consciously relax these muscles through guided breathing or gentle massage can offer profound relief and restore harmony. Throughout this journey, moderation is key. Our bodies, especially as we age, thrive when given the chance to rest and rebuild. That means moderation in stimulation, including masturbation, is not a limitation but a form of respect. By reclaiming arousal as a full-body experience, you reconnect not only to sensation but to emotional intimacy, to the rhythms of your own life, and to the shared moments that truly nourish the heart. I want to emphasize again that none of this is about shame or punishment. Masturbation is a natural and healthy part of life, but like any habit, it deserves reflection and mindfulness, especially when our bodies start sending quiet signals of distress. When you listen to those signals, you open the door to healing, vitality, and deeper connection. If you find yourself waking frequently at night, feeling pelvic discomfort, noticing a drop in energy or desire, or simply feeling off in ways you can't quite name, consider these gentle reflections as an invitation, not a verdict. This is your body's way of asking for kindness, attention, and a new kind of care. Remember, you are not broken. You are evolving. Life after 55 is a time of deep wisdom and renewed opportunity. It's a chance to slow down, listen more carefully, and honor the complex, beautiful system that is your body. The changes you make don't have to be drastic to be powerful. Often, the smallest shifts create the biggest ripples. If you're ready, begin by noticing. Pay attention to how your body feels before, during, and after your routines. Track your energy, your mood, and your intimacy. Consider reaching out to a trusted men's health professional who understands the nuances of prostate and pelvic health. Someone like me, doctor, Alan Mercer, who believes in compassionate, personalized care. Above all, give yourself permission to move forward without judgment. This is your journey, and it deserves patience, kindness, and respect. Healing doesn't mean perfection, it means connection. Connection to your body, your emotions, and the life you want to live. Thank you for listening. If this story resonates with you, please take a moment to reflect on what your body might be telling you. You don't have to figure it all out today, but with curiosity and care, you can begin to write the next chapter of your health, one filled with vitality, comfort, and hope. And if you found value in this conversation, consider sharing it with someone who might need to hear it. Sometimes, the quietest voices benefit most from knowing they're not alone. Here's to your journey, to your health, and to the gentle power of listening deeply. Take care of yourself. Dr. Alan Mercer.